Joining us on the line now from Seoul is Thomas Byrne, president at the Korea Society. Thomas, thanks for joining us. What's your instant reaction to this?
Hi, good morning. My reaction to this, sorry. Yes, this is certainly an opportunity for a breakthrough. I'd have to say a big opportunity for a breakthrough in this, what was a stalemate in North Korea's nuclear weapons production. And it looks like, I think it's also a sign of the strength of the alliance between ROK and U.S., the coordination between South Korean government and the U.S. government. There's really, they're all on the same page, and there's unison in ends. There could be some flexibility in the way you get to the end, but both governments are adhering to the maximum pressure campaign to denuclearize the Korean peninsula.
Thomas, what could be achieved here, and how much can the regime in Pyongyang be relied on to keep to their promises looking ahead, if there is an agreement even?
Well, that's a big and important question. However, this is a case where I believe the U.S. And all the major elements of the U.S. government don't want to miss an opportunity to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. As you know, nuclear bombs on the Korean peninsula in the hands of the North Koreans are ultimately destabilizing for peace and prosperity in South Korea as well as the region. There's the risks of proliferation. Plus, they prevent the North Korean people themselves from improving their livelihoods. So it hasn't worked in the past, but maybe things are different now with the sanctions and also the coercive diplomacy in the forms of sanctions, but also, keeping strong military options in support of diplomacy.
Thomas, in diplomatic circles, how will this be perceived? Will it be seen as a win for Kim Jong-un? Because what it perhaps does is legitimize his regime, perhaps also on top of that, in the Eastern sense, give him face.
No, I don't think so, because remember, there's no concessions on the part of South Korea or the United States. Neither South Korea nor the United States have accepted the suspension for suspension plan, where North Korea suspends its testing and ballistic missile launches in exchange for the U.S. and ROK suspending their military alliance exercises. Those exercises will take place in April and May this year. The sanctions will continue to be enforced. In fact, will probably be strengthened as time goes by. And I think perhaps the big difference here is that for the first time, North Korea is changing its calculus.
And what's it changing its calculus to, ultimately?
Well, it's never done that before in the way I look at the history of diplomacy to denuclearize North Korea in the past 20, 25 years. This is an opportunity. We'll have to see how it plays out. In the past, North Korea has never, actually taken concrete steps to denuclearize and join the international community. Maybe things are different, maybe they're not. But I believe the U.S. government and the South Korean government don't want to miss this opportunity. I wouldn't say there's a breakthrough yet. I would say there's a big opportunity for a breakthrough.
How important is it where they meet?
I think that's important because one of the important thing to recognize with Kim Jong-un meeting President Moon Jae-in of South Korea is that it won't be in Pyongyang. It'll be in Panmunjom, the truce village. Moreover, it'll be on the south side, below the demarcation line on the South Korea side. So I think it's very important where they meet. I mean, I think it'd be great if they meet in Mar-a-Lago. I don't know if that's possible. I think it'd be very important to get Kim Jong-un out of North Korea so he can't present this as another homage to North Korea, people coming and paying tribute to North Korea.
Absolutely, and that would again lend to the idea of face and gathering more of that. Well, how is this going to be perceived in the halls of Beijing, in your view?
Well, Beijing ultimately, I think, wants denuclearized North Korea. It also wants to maintain its influence on the whole Korean peninsula, both North Korea and South Korea, and we see this with the economic retaliation that Beijing is orchestrating because the South Korean government has accepted the installation of the anti-missile system, that anti-missile system, a defensive system in South Korea. But North, ultimately, I think China's strategic interest is for a peaceful denuclearization of the Korean peninsula.